Greetings and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. This is Colin. Today we are going to do a playthrough of Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion with 4 people. Woohoo! I'm going to be playing with Bernd, my friend Brent, and Monica. Now, if you're looking for how to play your first scenario, I would highly recommend checking out Watch It Played. He does a great job with those first 5 scenarios, laying out all the different things you need to know, how to play, how to get yourself started. What we're doing here instead, we're actually going to start on scenario 4, because that's where, if you decided to bring a Gloomhaven character from the main game into this game, that is where Isaac recommends within the rules to start there with 40 gold and 10 experience points, as well as 1 perk, because you would have gotten that between scenarios 1, 2, and 3. But scenarios 1, 2, and 3, you don't even get to use your regular level 1 cards, and since all 4 of us have played many sessions of Gloomhaven, we'd like to start at scenario 4 and move forward. So if you'd like to see what this game has to offer, especially if you've already played Gloomhaven before, or if you haven't played this game, but you would like to see what it feels like to actually play the game in total, because we'll be playing with essentially all the rules by scenario 4, this video series is for you. So what we're going to do here is we're going to set everything up for that 4th scenario. That means I am going to be spoiling. So I'm going to put it right here, spoilers, okay? If you don't want to see that, you might not want to watch this. There's no way to do a random dungeon on this one like there is in Gloomhaven, so that's why we're just going to play it. We're going to have fun, and I'm hoping that you guys will enjoy it and play along with us. I'd also like to mention that Forteller has been kind enough to provide us with a couple extra codes for their specific readings of Jaws of the Lion. Feel free to check out the description below on how to enter this giveaway. Thank you so much to Forteller, and we showcase a tidbit of their reading in this specific video. Without further ado, let's go ahead and set up scenario 4. Similar to Gloomhaven, you have a map of Gloomhaven here. You'll be placing stickers to denote the locations and scenarios that you have unlocked as you play the game. Already I'm going to have a spoiler here because I've placed out the stickers 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're very hard to see actually. It's hard for me to even see them from here. You can see 2 is here, 1's here. We've got 3 here, a ritual in stone. Oh, that's 4. Where the heck do we put 3? Oh yeah, that's right. The black ship is over here for 3. So we have technically already done 1, 2, and 3. We're starting ourselves at the ritual in stone here in scenario 4. When we complete that scenario, more will unlock and we'll be placing more stickers out on this board. He does say that the stickers are permanent, and so if you don't want to put your stickers on here, you can simply write down the locations that are available to you. I did also want to show you this. Conversely, any character from Gloomhaven can join the Jaws of the Lion and be played in this game. There are no A or B cards for these characters, of course, so it's best if they skip the first 3 scenarios of the campaign. To compensate for skipping them, they should be given 40 gold, 10 experience, and 1 perk. So that's what we're going to do. The game comes with 4 characters, and you can play with all 4 right off the bat. No one needs to be retired to unlock like you would see in Gloomhaven. So since we're playing a 4-player game, we're going to play with all 4 of them. Monica's going to play Hatchet, I'll be playing the Red Guard, Brent will be playing the Void Warden, and Bernd will be playing the Demolitionist. Here we have Monica's character, Xander. So she got to choose some items that she could purchase since we are starting at scenario 4, and the total value had to be less than 40, so she got a heater shield, and she got some weathered boots. That equals 35, so she has 5 gold left. She also has grabbed all of her level 1 cards. She has a total of 10 of them, as you can see up here. That denotes how many she has. And she's grabbed her specific modifier deck. You can see these symbols over here denote that these are her modifier deck. There's 20 of them to start with, but because we're starting at scenario 4, we all get to have 1 perk as well. Xander has chosen to remove 2 -1 cards for her perk, and so that means now she has less negatives in her modifier deck when she's flipping them during combat. Also, at the beginning of each scenario, you get to draw 2 battle objectives and choose one to keep. And that's another way that you can gain perks. You'll gain perks as you level up, but you'll also gain perks by completing these objectives. As you complete them, you'll get check marks out here, and for every set of 3, you'll gain one of these. Now, I'm not going to look at any of these since I'm playing as one of the characters. I'll go ahead and at the beginning of the playthrough, I'll put up what each of our battle objectives are, but I'll do that post-editing so I won't know while we're playing, because, that's more fun. 2 more items to note about Hatchet. The total health, because we're at level 1, will be 8, and then you can see we have an initiative token here. Each character and each enemy type will have an initiative token, which is great Super helpful when you're actually playing the game. You can put the tokens in the initiative order after cards have been revealed, and then that can help you when you're activating everyone in the appropriate order. You also have your character tokens as well. I'll be playing the Red Guard. His name will be the Red Hood. He has 2 items. We have the Power Potion. During your attack, add +1 attack to the attack action. That will only be able to be used once per scenario. We'll then flip it over and exhaust it until the next scenario. Then we have Chain Armor. This one you can ready every time you long rest, and it says during your turn gain 1 shield for the rest of the round. I'll play also with 10 cards in hand, so here's my 10 level 1 cards. I have my modifier deck, and my total health will be 10. I also will have 2 battle objectives, but I have already picked mine, and I'll show it to you since I can. We have Egoist. Collect more money tokens than all other characters, so that's what I'm trying to do. The perk I chose was to remove 4 +0 cards. It does mean I'm more likely to flip my -1s, but I'm also more likely to flip my +1s. So I thought, a little more volatility kind of works for a Velrath guard, right? Brent will be playing the Void Warden. The Void Warden's name will be Allura. Allura has 6 health, 2 items again, a Stamina Potion. During your turn, return 1 of your discarded cards to your hand, and Studded Leather. When attacked before drawing an attack modifier card, the attacker gains disadvantage in the attack for the attack, and also you gain shield 1 for the attack. She will have a total of 11 cards instead of 10 like the other 2 that we've seen so far, and here's her modifier deck. Her perk is she replaced 1 -1 with a +0 and heal +1 and ally, which is kind of cool. She also has a battle objective card, and I don't know what it is. Oh, it's tempting to look, but I'm not going to because that's no fun. Here we have our Quartal Demolitionist, going to be played by Barrett, and his name is Boom Boom. I love that name. Total health is 8. You can see Eagle Eye Goggles. During your attack action, gain advantage for the entire attack action. And then here, during your turn, return 1 of your discarded cards to your hand. That's the exact same one that we saw Brent have. Then we have only 9 cards for level 1 cards, and our modifier deck. Boom Boom chose a perk to remove 2 -1 cards. And you can see here there's 2 boxes there, so he can actually do that 2 times, which is kind of nice. I should mention he also has a battle objective as well. Now that all of that is out of the way, we're going to go ahead and start with the story. Now, because we're playing at scenario 4, I don't want to just jump you into the scenario there, because it's not going to make any sense. And what I personally like is to have a story while I'm playing. If you don't want to see this, I'm going to put right here, it's going to tell you where to jump to skip all the story text and jump right to scenario 4, just the special rules, so you can start watching the playthrough. But if you want to actually understand the story, hang out here, and I'm going to do reading the introduction and conclusion of scenario 1, 2, and 3, as well as the introduction for scenario 4. You still with me? Let's start it.
It will be good to get back to the sleeping lion. After a fortnight going up and down the still river, chasing a bad lead on a missing blacksmith, you can almost feel the warmth of the inn's hearth when Gloomhaven's walls come into view. You are almost home. To be fair, it's not just the blacksmith. An alarming number of people within the poorer districts of the city have gone missing. Usually, nothing comes of it though. Just another poor soul, forgotten out here on the edge of civilization. The blacksmith's wife, Sandy, however, managed to somehow scrape enough money together to hire you to find her husband. You're not sure where the money came from, but no matter the source, it couldn't have come easy, which makes it doubly painful to return to the city empty-handed. True, Sandy was a little light on the payment, but you are the jaws of the lion, one of the most well-known mercenary groups in this backwater dump of a town. Surely it can't hurt to take a charity case every once in a while. Getting good jobs is about maintaining a reputation after all, which is why you really need to get to the bottom of this and not return to the widow with nothing but the calluses on your feet. Also, you probably shouldn't call her a widow to her face, at least not until the fate of the blacksmith has been confirmed. Given, however, that none of those who disappeared have returned, the outlook is grim. As these cheery thoughts pass through your mind, you notice movement up ahead and immediately draw your weapon. The sun has dipped low in the sky, reducing visibility, but you can clearly see some ramshackle wooden barricades blocking the road in front of you, and, sure enough, as you cautiously approach the scene, vermlings jump out from behind the obstructions, flashing crude swords and sharp sticks. You have to admit, you are quite tired from the day's journey, but still, these oversized rats certainly picked the wrong group of travelers to ambush today. You are the jaws of the lion after all, and are always ready to show there is only one outcome for anyone who dares threaten you. The road back to Gloomhaven has been long, and now, to get attacked by vermlings when all you want is a warm meal and a soft bed, well, it makes you mad. Mad enough to kill these mangy creatures before you collapse from exhaustion. Of course, the vermlings have other plans. They gibber about wanting your coin and the meat on your bones. Nasty things, really. Best to ignore their ranting and end this quickly. You wipe the blood of the last vermling from your face, and your thoughts return to the sleeping lion. Surely they've got a stew ready by now. It would be so perfectly warm and soothing, and it's right through that gate. So close, you can already taste it. But then, another thought comes. It is highly unusual, brazen really, for a pack of vermlings to operate this close to the city. Could they be behind the string of disappearances? It's a long shot, but one worth investigating. Especially considering this ambush site doesn't look like their base of operations. There is probably a nest nearby that, with any luck, will have more information on the missing blacksmith. And treasure. Treasure would be nice.
The tracks are easy to spot. Vermlings have never been known for their subtlety. You follow the scratching and indicators of a body being dragged until you find yourself approaching the walls of Gloomhaven. The sun is very low, but something isn't right. That isn't just a shadow cast across a lower section of the wall, it's a hole. The vermlings have made a nest for themselves by burrowing into the wall itself. How industrious. You crouch low and try to sneak closer, but they must have guards watching the entrance. There's a shrill shrieking, and then a number of vermlings jump from the dark, brandishing their dull, poorly made weapons. No choice now but to defend yourself. Luckily, you've managed to get your second wind, but you will definitely need a nice long bath after this ordeal. With the foul nest cleansed of those wretched creatures, you take your time searching every nook. Surely the city guard will want to know about this. It can't be safe to have vermlings tunneling through the walls. It's hard enough to fend off their raids as it is. Eventually, you do manage to find an unexpectedly large amount of gold under some rotten wood boards. Sifting through the treasure, you find a strange note in a crude scratching. It details some business arrangements between the vermlings and someone by the name of Roland. Apparently, in exchange for supplying fresh corpses, Roland would pay the vermlings in gold. And judging by the amount here, the vermlings managed to kill quite a few people before he put an end to it. It's the best lead you have, so it's time to ferret out this Roland character. After resting at the Sleeping Lion, of course. After getting your fill of a stew and plenty of rest at the Sleeping Lion, you start off early in the morning. The first order of business is looking for information on someone named Roland. He seems to be making a trade out of buying fresh corpses, and you'd like to know why. It's slow going at first, but you eventually find a pair of vermlings down in the sinking market, who seem overly interested in cadaver disposal. After some rough persuasion, they cough up that they are going to be paid by a man named Roland to deliver bodies. They even give you the drop-off location, some derelict shipped at the old docks. You head down to the pier and look around it. It doesn't take long to spot the suspicious vessel. Not only is it leaking some vile black liquid from the hull, but there are two men wearing red robes standing guard outside on the dock. They notice you eyeing them and begin making threatening gestures for you to move along. Looks like getting to the bottom of this is going to require cracking a few more skulls.
Oof!
It certainly doesn't give you pleasure sifting through human remains on the altar, but it does end up proving useful, in between bouts of vomiting, of course. You find a necklace, one Sandy described in detail as never leaving the neck of her husband. With this in hand, you can bring at least some peace to the blacksmith's widow and inform the city guard about this whole situation. Still, you have a sneaking suspicion that this isn't the end of the trail. These robed men were certainly all underlings, which means Roland is still out there. One could make the argument that this is the city guard's job, but you search the cabin for the ship anyway, and find a curious map. It's a crude depiction of the boiler district, and one building is clearly marked. Surely it couldn't hurt to check it out. Famous last words. You arrive at the building marked on the map, an old abattoir, and find an unexpected scene. The entire building has burnt down and is now nothing more than a scorched husk. This is certainly a new development, as you clearly remember the structure standing before you left on your hunt up the Still River. And the fact that the location has been implicated in your search, well, the whole thing is rather suspicious, even if you can't put your finger on exactly why. A little bit of searching through charred rubble isn't going to stop you from getting to the bottom of this, though. Eventually, you uncover a set of stairs leading into a stone cellar. Given it's the only piece of structure intact, you make your way down. A powerful smell of death grows increasingly stronger as you descend until it almost overwhelms you, enveloping you like a suffocating blanket. Thoughts of turning back creep into your mind, but then you hear the chanting. The tone and cadence is similar to those creeps on the ship with a bloody altar. It doesn't take much longer to find the source. A short hallway at the base of the stairs leads into a large open room full of more red-robed zealots. Their chanting reaches a crescendo and the whole floor begins to shake violently. Fissures erupting from the ground around 4 massive rune-covered stones scattered around the room. Cracks form in the ceiling, sending huge chunks of rock crashing down. Your mind focuses on a singular goal, pushing away all the other complications of the last few weeks. If you don't end whatever ritual is going on right now, you will all be buried alive. Here we have a ritual in stone. This is scenario 4, so this is where we're going to start. Our goal is to destroy all the summoning stones and then kill all the enemies. Our special rules, this is just simply denoting we need to be playing with level 1 cards. And then the objectives are summoning stones. They have C, which is the amount of characters, so 4 plus 1, 5 hit points, and can only be targeted by melee attacks. When 2 summoning stones have been destroyed, read number 1. Over here, it also denotes how you set up the map. So this is telling you need page 8 and page 9, which we're already on. But then in the supplemental booklet, you need page 3, which is kind of cool. On this side of the map, it shows you the different items you need to set up the map. We're going to have enemies that are stone golems and zealots. We're going to have 3 damage traps, 1 treasure tile, and 4 money tokens that we're going to place out on the board. What's really cool about this game is the booklet itself is the map. I love that, and you're going to have different pages for different scenarios. So different things you're going to see are on here, and I want to explain them. Any area that is purple is considered difficult terrain. It costs you and enemies 2 movement points to move into this. However, if you're using a jump, you can jump over it and it just costs 1 movement to do so. These are those pillars that we're trying to destroy, and they are yellow because they're denoting that it is an objective. That's what we're trying to destroy, and they have 5 total health. Here and here, it denotes certain items that are going to start off on the board itself. We're going to have 1 coin here that we can loot, and we're going to have a 3 damage trap that we're going to place here. Up here, this denotes that we're going to have an enemy starting here as long as we're playing with 4 players. Why I say that is you can see these bars down here. The top bar is for 2 players, and you can see it's grayed out. That means they would have no enemy here. With 3 players, same thing, it's grayed out. But with 4 players, you actually put an elite zealot here. At the top of the map, there's an area up here which is going to show us where we can start. So I'm just going to place this out here. I'm sure we're going to move it when we actually start playing, but I'll just place us out like so. We can also have someone start here or here if we wanted. Down here we'll have a treasure chest, and you can see it has a number 16. If someone can loot this, we'll look at the back of the booklet, and it will have what the number 16 treasure is. Here we have our enemy setup for this scenario. We have stone golems and zealots. You'll want to start by grabbing their enemy cards, making sure they're set at the level 1, slide them into these pockets, and then you can see their stats up here. The stats on the left side denote the normal enemies. The stats on the right side denote elites. So elites, you can see if stone golems have 2 shield versus only 1 for the normal, they have a little more health, they attack a little bit harder, and even move a little bit more. For the zealots, the biggest thing that's different, a little bit more health, a little bit more attack, but also all of the elite zealots will wound. You'll then want to grab the 8 action cards for each of those specific enemy types. So I have 8 for the zealots and 8 for the stone golems. You'll get their modifier deck. That'll be 20 cards with the M symbol. That's how you know it's theirs. And then what we're going to do is take these standees and place them out on the board. Don't look at the numbers, just randomly place them out on the board. Those numbers will only matter when we activate them, as we always do them from low to high, similar to how we do initiative. Here we have the board all set up. You're going to see I do have some 3D tokens. I did do some 3D printing, as well as got some tokens for my Gloomhaven game to pimp it out a little bit because I like that. And so I have added it here where I could. We also have our element board here. You'll just want to set that up and put out all of the different elements. There are 6 of them in total, and we're ready to go. Hope you guys are excited. Please join us in the playthrough, and let's do this. Let's take out some of these zealots. I'll see you at the next stop.